focused, and fearless. Here's everything you need to know this rush hour of August 8th, Thursday. I'm Riza Diaz. Jump-starting today's rush with a few areas in the country declaring class suspensions today due to bad weather. Classes in all levels are suspended in the whole province of Bataan, as well as in Kalumpit, Bulacan, Quezon City, Masinloc, Zambales, and Tanawan, Batangas. Meanwhile, preschool to senior high school students have no classes also in Iloilo City today. Now, on the other hand, only preschool classes are suspended in Abra de Ilog, Occidental, Mindoro. And just moments before broadcast, some barangays in Apalit, Pampanga also declared class suspensions. Preschool to senior high students from Barangay Cansinala have no classes today, but only preschool to elementary students have no classes in Barangay Palgi. Typhoon Hana has intensified overnight. Tropical cyclone wind signal number 1 is still up over Batanes and Babuyan group of islands. This means winds may damage crops and houses made of kogon and nipa will be experienced in the areas. Classes in preschool level are also suspended. Meanwhile, the typhoon is also drawing in monsoon rains over western Visayas. Yellow warning is still up in Antique, Guimaras, and Iloilo. Residents in these provinces are expected to monitor the situation in their area and stay ready for possible flooding. Now, to give us the latest developments on Typhoon Hana, as well as the other weather disturbances affecting the country, we have with us weather specialist Ariel Rojas. He's joining us live from Pag-asa Weather Forecasting Center in Quezon City. Ariel, good morning.
Good morning, Riza. At 4 a.m. this morning, the eye of Typhoon Hana was last spotted 485 kilometers east-northeast of Basco, Batanes. As you have mentioned, Hana has intensified overnight. It now packs winds of up to 175 kilometers per hour near the center and with gusts reaching up to 215 kilometers per hour. Hana is presently moving northwestward at a speed of 15 kilometers per hour. And tropical cyclone wind signal number 1 is still over Batanes and Babuyan group of islands. These areas will be experiencing gusts from 30 to 60 kilometers per hour. The outer rain bands of the typhoon is already bringing light to moderate rains over Ilocos region, Cordillera, and the remaining parts of Cagayan Valley. Meanwhile, the monsoon rains or the sustained light to moderate to at times heavy rains are presently experienced over Zambales, Bataan, Cavite, Batangas, and Mimaropa. The rest of Luzon, including Metro Manila and Western Visayas, will be experiencing cloudy skies with scattered light to moderate rains, while the rest of the country, that's Eastern and Central Visayas and Mindanao, will be experiencing partly cloudy to cloudy skies with isolated rain showers, especially in the afternoon and in the evening. The low-pressure area we are monitoring inside PAR over the West Philippine Sea was last spotted 270 kilometers west of Dagupan City, Pangasinan. This LPA has a very slim chance of hitting the Luzon landmass or developing into a tropical depression. Riza?
Ariel, are there gale warning hoisted?
Yes, because of the enhanced southwest monsoon by Typhoon Hana and the low-pressure area, sea travel remains risky over the seaboards of the areas under tropical cyclone wind signal number 1 and in all the seaboards of Luzon and Visayas and on the northern and eastern seaboards of Mindanao.
All right, thank you. That was Pag-asa weather forecaster Ariel Rojas. Now, the match between COMELEC and former Youth Commission Chairman Ronald Cardema also isn't over, but this time it's not Ronald seeking the representative post. Marian Enriquez has more details.
The troubles of Ronald Cardema are not over. The Duterte youth leader has already been prevented from taking his party list seat in Congress. The COMELEC now wants a full criminal investigation.
He should be perpetually disqualified from running for office. Because that offense carries with it the crime of moral turpitude.
Commissioner Guanzon says Cardema may have committed a criminal offense of material misrepresentation by stating under oath that he is qualified to be youth sector representative. The law defines youth as 25 to 30 years old. Cardema is 34. Guanzon says she has since been receiving threatening text messages.
I feel that Mr. Cardema should come out to the public and deny it. Because I want to hear him answer my accusation that his group or gang are threatening harm to myself and members of my family.
Guanzon is also asking the party list coalition, headed by Congressman Mikey Romero, to explain why Cardema has been attending their meetings. Unlike other appointed officials, Cardema did not resign from the National Youth Commission at the start of the last election season. The nominee was his wife, but on the day of the election, Cardema substituted for his wife. The question now is, who will represent the Duterte Youth Party list in Congress?
That's their problem, right? Their lawyers should figure it out. But for now, they have no certificate of proclamation. They have no representative who is qualified. Therefore, they cannot be represented in the House of Representatives.
The Duterte youth got 350,000 votes, enough for one seat.
Na-fake sila. Na-fake sila. Pinake nila. Na-fake na yung mga youth talaga. They voted for somebody who's not a youth. O di na-fake sila. Is that the reason why they should be angry at me? Why should be angry at me? You get angry with Cardema. He made sayang your votes.
For News 5, Marian Enriquez, we are One News.
Search and retrieval operations for other victims of the Iloilo Guimaras tragedy are over, with a final casualty count at 31. Families of the victims, meanwhile, are now struggling with their losses. Greg Gregorio with the report.
4 days after the tragedy in Iloilo Guimaras Strait, President Duterte personally visited the families of victims and to pay respect to their departed loved ones. Duterte was accompanied by Senator Bongo in his visit to Iloilo, where he offered a 50,000 peso financial aid to each of the affected families. He also handed them cell phones. The president was not able to go to Guimaras due to bad weather. Every passenger of the 3 capsized seacraft has been accounted for, with the official death toll at 31. And because of this, authorities have stopped retrieval operations. 65 out of the 83 passengers and crew survived the incident and are now trying to cope with their losses. Cecilia lost her only child, Maria Resil Sol.
Sakit masakit. Ano pa ang papa niya nasa nasa ibang bansa. Nasa Saudi Arabia pa yung papa niya. Hindi pa matanggap, pero tatanggapin kay nandyan na. Wala ka na magawa.
John Melvin is still in disbelief for this aunt's sudden death.
Sobrang sakit po. Makikita ko sa mukha niya yung hindi niya gusto yung sinapit niya doon.
But amid the sorrow, there are also some stories of survival.
Kahit ako, hindi ako paniwala na mabubuhay pa kami.
Dalawa lang kayong nakasakay sa...
Opo, dalawa lang kami. Pinasok ko yung kamay ko dito sa sa T-shirt at saka ginanon para hindi kasi konti lang yung distansya ng at saka tubig. Tapos pagpasok ng alon, wala na.
Malaki po talagang pasalamat ko doon dahil di ko alam na mabubuhay pa ako eh. May mission pa ata ako dito sa lupa na kailangan ko pa talagang tuparin. Tulungan ko yung mga kapatid ko, magulang ko.
At the Jordan Roro Wharf in Guimaras, there was a long queue of passengers on Wednesday. Operations of pump boats are still suspended due to the incident.
Kanina pa kaming umaga. Kaso lang, ang tagal-tagal ng aming naghihintay kami ng namin dito, aming ticket number. Tagal pa kami.
Wala lang. Basta nakapila lang kami dito.
Okay lang na naghihintay ka ng ganyang katagal?
Hindi nga sana okay Masakit yung kabilang binti ko, yung wala. Kaso wala ka mong magawa. Tiis na lang, tiis.
Authorities have already requested for more Roro vessels to serve the Iloilo-Guimaras route. For News 5, Greg Gregorio, we are One News.
More reports of trouble at sea from one of our dailies. This from the Free Man. 10 people were rescued in Cebu on Wednesday after the motorboat they were in malfunctioned while cruising through big waves between Mactan and Olangong Islands. Passengers of the vessel were residents of Olangong Island who reportedly pushed through with the trip amid bad weather since they've been absent from work for several days. The group managed to call their relatives as huge waves started battering their boat. No one was killed or injured from the incident. Meanwhile, authorities found out that the boat they used was not registered. Filipino Star Ngayon reports the trial on the Mamasapano incident, which resulted in the death of 44 members of the PNP Special Action Force, will push through. That's after the Supreme Court lifted the temporary restraining order on the case at the Sandigan Bayan. This paves way for possible conviction on the criminal charges filed against former President Aquino and several other officials during his administration. They are facing charges of graft and usurpation of authority in connection with the incident on the January 25, 2015. And Chinese nationals working in offshore gaming operations will be transferred to contained hubs or communities to limit their interaction with Filipinos. The Philippine Star reports that PAGCOR's move to contain Chinese POGO workers is still meant to address complaints on alleged unruly behavior of these foreign nationals. The special hubs for Chinese workers will still have government offices located inside for monitoring. Verbal punches were thrown at the Senate over the proposed return of the death penalty. And in the middle of the fight, Senators Manny Pacquiao and Franklin Drilon. Mayan Los Baños reports.
Senators Manny Pacquiao and Franklin Drilon faced off on Tuesday to begin the debates on the proposals to revive death penalty. Pacquiao drew first blood by saying they must set an example to illegal drug traffickers and syndicates.
It is high time for the state to step up its game and put these criminals to death through judicial sanction. This death penalty, Mr. President, is a self-defense of the state to protect its people against the destruction of lives and properties brought by drug-related crimes.
But Drilon countered with a simple question. He asked Pacquiao if he thinks all Supreme Court justices are infallible.
We all commit mistake and it's not everyone's perfect, but we always we have trust and confidence with all the justices in the Supreme Court, Mr. President.
We can commit mistakes, as you said, Mr. President. As the gentleman said, we can commit mistakes. And if you commit a mistake and impose the death penalty, that becomes irrevocable. I think that's a clear conclusion that we can have, as the gentleman has agreed, that no one is perfect. And in this imperfect world, death can be imposed, and that imposition of the death penalty is irrevocable because you cannot bring back the life.
In the shift to give the final blow, Senate President Tito Soto agreed with Drilon, but proposed his own version of the controversial measure.
Most of the propositions and the manifestation of the minority leader are correct, absolutely correct, for common crimes. For common crimes. But not for high-level drug trafficking. They can never be wrong. If it's a drug lord, then you cannot be wrong. And that is the proposal that I am proposing. Not the common crimes, forget about that. It's the high-level drug trafficking only.
Senate Minority Leader Franklin Drilon is making good on his promise to fight tooth and nail against the imposition of capital punishment. But this is not the first time that Drilon took on an administration-backed senator since the start of the 18th Congress. The veteran senator also faced Senator Francis Tolentino in July for defending the president's verbal deal with China.
What is the basis of our judgment that it is valid under international law?
I have no possession, Mr. President, of any transcript on verbal agreement.
For News 5, Mayan Los Baños, we are One News.
Fast break now to Sports Rush. The San Miguel Beermen tied their PBA final series against TNT Catropa. But it was no easy feat. In fact, it took Junmar Fajardo and his squad 2 overtimes to overcome Jason Castro's valiant efforts to steal the game. Tied at 122 all with half a minute left, Fajardo jumped on TNT's depleted frontline and knocked Twin Charities to break the deadlock. Now going into extra time, TNT got into some major foul trouble. Terrence Jones graduated early into the first OT, with Rosario following suit with over a minute left in the match. TNT missed crucial freebies in the home stretch, and Castro couldn't save the day, missing 2 attempts from the Rainbow Country as the time wound down. Terrence Romeo, who forced overtime with a clutch 3 in regulation, scooped up 29 points, sinking 9 of 14 from the field.
Mahirap. Sobrang hirap kalaban ng TNT. So, talagang kailangan every possession pahalagahan namin. Sobrang hirap nila kalaban.
And that's how today is shaping up to be. Join us again next time for another round of Rush. I'm Riza Diaz. We are One News.